Welcome back, everyone. A 4-4 draw with Bournemouth, and if you're a neutral football fan, that certainly was an entertaining game. And yes, as a Man United fan, we were entertained by getting 4 goals at Old Trafford, but we just can't defend. We have such a bad defense. Now you can put it down to inexperience, the likes of Euro and Heaven only being 20, 21 respectively. They have much to learn. There's time for them to improve. But last night, they certainly were not as experienced as you would want them to be, especially Aiden Heaven in that centre back role. But again, Bournemouth, they got back into the game, they got their chances, and they were clinical. Yes, our defending was bad, as I say, but that doesn't mean that Bournemouth did not create clear cut opportunities, and that is what they did. We started quite well, and it's a mixed bag of emotions with this particular game because we can be happy that we are creating chances, 25 shots on goal last night. That tells you just how attacking Man United was. But the defense is where the problems lie. Having the likes of De Ligt, Maguire out, Mazraoui now on his way to AFCON, these are key defenders. Lisandro Martinez is just returning from injury, still getting back to full match fitness. You can't put too much blame on him. But you can look at how we can defend better. And it's again the same thing that we had against West Ham, against Everton. You can go back as far as Grimsby. You can look at the Arsenal game in the beginning of the season. We play well, we create chances, but again, we find ourselves not defending as good as we need to. It's those finer details that we are not getting right, and that is why we are conceding goals. And if things went our way, if we managed to keep clean sheets, we would be higher up the table. We could easily be in the title race. That's the reality. We could easily be top of the log even if we decided to defend as professionals should. We defended like amateurs, school kids. It simply was not good enough. And that is why we found ourselves continuously giving goals away. In that first half an hour, I was really impressed. I found myself completely mesmerized by the 1-2 touches that we were playing, cutting through Bournemouth quite easily. And Bournemouth didn't have any answers for us. And we went in the lead deservedly so with Ahmad's goal. Again, a ball in by the low to the far post. Just misses Cunha, but Ahmad puts it away right on the goal line. The easiest goal he'll probably ever score in his career. And at that point, you think, yes, we're going to continue pushing now. We're going to continue pressing for the second, the third, But we didn't. We allowed Bournemouth to get control of the ball. We allowed them to get a bit of rhythm, and they got the goal. Yes, the equalizer, we could have defended better. Let's be honest here. Shaw, Mount, Cunha all losing the ball in the middle of the field. And from that point, we are exposed. Now, yes, people are saying Aiden Evans should come, we should close the space down, and I agree with that. But if we do not make silly errors further up the pitch, we won't find ourselves in the position where we have to scramble and try and cover spaces. If we are knowledgeable, if we are more mature and responsible in the way we pass the ball, then we certainly won't find ourselves constantly giving teams opportunities. And when we did go back in the lead, thanks to Casemiro, Petrovic from Bournemouth did make a mistake, but we went in the lead and went in the lead at half time. And at that point, you think, nice, we come out now in the second half, we started the same way we did the first. And from that point, yes, we can move on and try and get more goals, a third or a fourth. To be fair, we did get the third and the fourth, but the way that second half started, it seemed like we thought the game was done. Because the 2 goals that Bournemouth got was so quick. A ball right through the middle, completely splitting Euro and Aiden Heaven, and that's probably where that inexperience comes in terms of their positioning, where they need to be in order to, not allow a striker or any forward to be making runs into those particular spaces between them. But again, that happened, and then it was they equalized, and you were thinking, okay, that was quick. They got back into the game, and we expected to react, and we didn't at that point, and they got a free kick, and it gets put in the net. Yes, maybe Lemens can do better, but let's not talk about Lemens as if he's on the same level as Onana or even Bayender, who makes mistakes or causes shaky moments in defense. Lemens has been good since he's come in, so I'm not going to criticize him too much on that particular free kick goal that went in. Again, it was a very good free kick by Tavernier. But at that point, you think, okay, now we are behind. Let's push on for that equalizer and the winner, and we quickly did so. We got the equalizer quickly through a brilliant free kick from Bruno, which is something that we can expect when he has the opportunity, but again, an excellent free kick. And then after that, we quickly get a goal to go in the lead and make it 4-3, with Cunha getting a goal at the Stretford end. And at that point, you think, right, the game's almost done. Let's slow it down a bit. It's a bit of a basketball game. It's up and down. You know, Bournemouth are loving this because they get to counter us continuously. Let's hold the ball. Let's pass it around. Let's keep possession so that we can slow the game down and take control of it. But we didn't. And that is where we found ourselves constantly making mistakes. And Bournemouth got back into the game. They again got another ball through the middle. And this time, again, calmly finished by the Bournemouth striker Krupi. And at that point, 4-4, you think, okay, fine, there's still time to go on to push on for the winner. But we didn't get the winner. We dropped 2 points. You can blame Amorim for deciding to go into a back five after we went ahead 4-3. Again, not the very best decision, because we should be attacking. We should be continually pressing Bournemouth because they are tired. They can't handle us attacking them and pressing them and harrowing them for the ball. But yet we decided to sit back, and that is why we conceded goals again. Every time we decide to sit back and defend the lead, we concede goals and drop points. That same thing keeps happening, and that, I think, is on Ruben Amorim with the players he brings on in terms of the substitutions. Mainu came on for Casemiro, who's going to miss the game against Aston Villa, and that is a particular blow considering we won't have Mbumo, Ahmad or Mazraoui for that game as well. That's going to be a tough game away to Aston Villa at Villa Park, and that in itself will be a game where I'm not even sure if we're going to get the win. Maybe we play better because it's away from home, less pressure, away from the Old Trafford crowd that is always expecting us to win and score goals. Maybe we do better. Maybe they turn up and we get a win against Aston Villa, or, get a very good draw. But other than that, we should have kept, more goals out against Bournemouth. We should have won the game. It's another 2 points drop, just like against West Ham, just like we played against Everton, where we dropped 3 points by losing to 10 men. The same thing we had against Spurs, the same thing we had against Nottingham Forest, dropping points when in winning positions. That has been the problem for us since the start of the season. It needs to be fixed, and the games we have coming up next isn't going to get easier. You have Arsenal and City that is still to come, and that in itself will be even more tougher than what an Aston Villa game will be. And we are missing players, we have injuries. Maybe we have to go into the transfer market in January and bring in a couple players to cover for that, and of course keep us at the strength we are at, because maybe if we don't, we won't get European football next season. We won't finish in a place high up the table, which will be seen as a successful season. We could easily go out of the FA Cup if we don't find ourselves filling the spaces in the squad that will be vacated by those leaving for AFCON and those that are injured. But again, I'm not very, very happy with the draw. I'm annoyed at it because we should have won. It's more points dropped, and that, in my opinion, is becoming a problem for us this season. We are continually dropping points because of bad defending, because of lack of the mentality to literally just take the opportunity. Every time we have a chance to climb up the table because of results going our way, we don't do it. We draw, we lose, we bottle it, basically. And that in itself is a mentality problem that Ruben Amorim, Jason Wilcox, Omar Barada, they need to be fixing that. Because if they don't, every time we get into this position, we're going to falter, we're going to fail. And that cannot happen, especially at a club like Manchester United. But let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on the game, what your thoughts are on Ruben Amorim, and of course the performance itself. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye, Red Devils. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.